all of you, or at least so few of you out there, could join us tonight. We've got a robust agenda, to say the least, compared to some of our other meetings. We've got a lot to cover here, and hopefully some other folks from across the community councils here in Missoula County will join us later. But without further ado, we just want to dive right into this. And to begin with, as per tradition and state law, is there any public comment on items not on tonight's agenda from anyone? Okay, and Maddie, are you supporting our meeting tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are there any introductory remarks or comments or direction you'd like to give folks?
Yes. First, I'd like to say welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a great summer. As a reminder, we will do round robin at the end. If you have any comments or questions during the presentation, just raise your hand on your screen. For the people attending on their phones, *6 to unmute, *5 to raise your hand. And back to you, Dave.
Right, thank you. And I clearly need to change the screen behind me because that conference has already concluded. So anyway, you can feast your eyes on some nice scenery there in Livingston, Montana, nonetheless. So just to get things going, if there's no comment on non-agenda items, Kayla Talbert from Grants and Community Resources, would you like to talk to us a little bit about CDBG?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Stormeyer. Hope everyone can hear me okay. Firstly, thank you for letting me come and talk with you all this evening. As mentioned, my name is Kayla Talbert. I'm a grants administrator with the Community Resources Department at the county. And I wanted to talk with you all today about a potential program that my department, in partnership with Missoula Public Health, is hoping to develop. It would be funded through the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG for short, and it would be a septic replacement program for low to moderate income homeowners that live outside of the city limits. We are still in the process of gathering information and writing the grant application. So this is still a very preliminary project, but we are hopeful that we would be successful. So I'm here today just to kind of let you all know that this program potentially could be available to your community members, because we have heard that it is a need in some of our more rural communities, and it is a financial burden to replace septic systems. And this would be structured as a grant to homeowners, so there wouldn't be any repayment options after the repair work has been completed. There are a few restrictions with the grant, one of them being that it would have to benefit a low to moderate income household, which is 80% of the area median income. They would need to reside in that home as their primary residence, and they would agree to put a 5-year deed restriction on their home, just to ensure that the CDBG funds are still supporting low-income households. And the goal is to submit the application at the end of December, but part of making a strong application for this program is to do a lot of community outreach. So that's why I'm here today, just to kind of gauge people's interest in this program, but to also encourage you to participate in the public hearing that we will be hosting with probably in October. It hasn't quite been scheduled, but it will be during one of the Board of County Commissioners public meetings, and we'll make sure that that information gets disseminated to this group so you can share it with everyone who might be interested. So we just want to encourage you to participate there, provide comment if you support the project, or if you have any concerns about it. We would love to hear that as well. But you can also email our department directly with any comments, and I can put that email in the chat. But for those who aren't on a computer, that's grants@missoulacounty.us. And that's it. So that's just me. Just wanted to put a plug in for hopefully a program that can be really beneficial to you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. Any comment or questions from anyone? You folks think
What
this?
is the deed restriction? Sorry, what's the deed restriction? Does that mean they can't sell the house for 5 years, or how does that work?
Yeah, it just means that the investment, if you do end up leaving within that 5 years, that you would have to repay the investment. So whatever the cost of the grant would be in the home. And that is a federal regulation. It wouldn't be something that the county stipulates. It's a good question, though.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions or comments? And folks, feel free to use the raise hand function if you're out there. Okay, more to be revealed. All right, thanks, Kate. Oh, Bonnie.
I was curious, is this going to go on each year, or is this something new for just this year,
Kayla?
this grant?
Yeah, that is also a great question. We are applying for a 5-year grant, up to $500,000. So we're hoping that it will be over a course of several years, and this grant opportunity does open up frequently, and we can reapply to after that 5 years if we're successful.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people in Clinton have old homes, and I think we would definitely like to bring this before our council meeting.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
And yeah, and I'd be happy to chat with you at the council meeting too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie. Other questions or comments? Okay, we will move on. Thanks, Kayla, and I send my regards and greetings from my fellow commissioners who could not make it, Josh Slotnick and Juanita Vero. So, all right, moving to Claire, our rural grants program and specifically micro grants. Claire.
Awesome, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Are you guys able to see my my PowerPoint?
Yes, if you can put it in presentation mode, it would be better.
Yes, okay. Okay, here we go.
There we go. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you all tonight. My name is Claire Biddick, and I am also a grants administrator in the Grants and Community Resources Department with the county. And I'm here today to talk about the Rural Grants Program and the micro grants, which we currently have funds available for. So a little bit of background. So the Rural Grants Program was created to support community-driven projects that enhance the quality of life in the rural areas of Missoula County. We have two different types of grants available through this. We have micro grants, which are for projects that are between $100 to $500, and that is what we're accepting applications right now in. And we also have impact grants, which are for bigger projects that are between $501 to $4,000 in requests. And those applications will be reopening in January of 2026. And so the micro grants are to support community projects that can be completed in 90 days, and applications are due on the last day of each month until funds run out in this calendar year. And right now we still have just about $2,700 available for micro grants for this year. And if you're interested in applying, so you can apply as a nonprofit, a school, a special district, community councils can apply, citizen groups, and individuals can also apply. And all projects must have a public benefit. And so in terms of what types of projects have been funded in the past, I just wanted to go through these to kind of give you some ideas of projects that could be submitted for some fun ideas. Oops. So we have funded community cleanups. We have funded equipment for senior centers. We have funded a few different bear safety events and supplies for like a bear fair, or if we've done bear resistant trash cans. We've helped fund community events like a fall festival that happened in Frenchtown. We've helped fund more like structural improvements to community spaces. So we did a roof replacement or help fund a roof replacement for community centers. Just an important note is the whole project doesn't have to be under $500. This can help fund a gap in your funding in your project. So just another thing to consider. We helped fund safety improvements to the biathlon range in Sealy. And then we've helped fund some projects that were with the schools and with after school clubs. So we did help fund hygiene kits for 5th grade students, equipment and materials for after school clubs. And then so far in 2025, I just wanted to share projects that we've been working with. So we've funded 5 projects so far, and those have been in Bonner, Clinton, and the Sealy communities. And we've given out just about $2,500. So that one of the projects we had was the Blackfoot River Youth Hockey Club received $500 to help buy youth ice hockey and skating gear for their community ice rink that's along the Blackfoot River. In Clinton, the Clinton PTSA received $500 to help pay for bikes for their after-school bike club. In Sealy, a Place to Be pollinator garden received $500 to help repair and repaint the garden bed structures for this season. Also in Sealy, the Sealy Lake Community Foundation was awarded $500 to help pay for a portable toilet and hand wash station that was in the central area of town for the summer months. And then lastly, this project hasn't yet been completed, but the Bonner Milltown History Center received $488 to help pay for interpretive signage for a railroad exhibit that they were putting together. So to kind of just wrap this up, just the next deadline we have is on September 30th. And then after that, applications are due on the last day of each month until funds run out. And if you have any questions, I'd encourage you to visit our website. That's missoula.co/rural grant. We have lots of information about the grant guidelines, and that's how you would access the application. And I'd also encourage you to reach out to me if you want to talk about a project idea. I love to talk. So yeah, feel free to email me or call me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Claire. Any questions for Claire? Okay. Thanks for all your work, Claire. Great program. Let's move on and transition to Brownfield. Cindy Kennedy, Brownfield's assessment grant submission.
Thanks, Commissioner Strohmeyer. I'm Cindy Kennedy. I'm a grants manager with the Grants and Community Resources Department. And we are gearing up to apply for a Brownfields assessment grant from the EPA. We applied last year at this time. We were not successful. We're going to try again. We learned what we need to do differently to be successful. So we are hoping to get an application put together here pretty soon. The guidelines have not been released yet, but we're expecting that any time. And part of the requirements associated with the Brownfields program is that we do community engagement. And some of you have probably heard my presentation before, so I apologize for repeating some information, but I'd like to share a SharePoint if I could, a PowerPoint, excuse me. Just a second here. Are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'll try to make this quick and so that I can keep it within my 5 minutes. Just the definition of brownfields. Brownfields is defined as real property, the expansion, redevelopment, or reuse of which may be complicated by the presence or potential presence of hazardous substances, pollutants, contaminants, controlled substances, petroleum or petroleum products, or is mine-scarred land. In Missoula County, that often is gravel pits are considered mine-scarred lands. Brownfields can adversely impact human health, decrease the value of surrounding properties, deter potential investments, and represent significant safety hazards to the community if left unaddressed. So the characteristics of a brownfield site can include abandoned property, underutilized properties, real estate turnover that might be complicated by real or perceived contamination, and blighted properties. just some examples of different brownfield sites, dry cleaners, automotive repair shops, industrial manufacturers, landfills, warehouses, illegal dump sites, that sort of thing. And buildings, just any building that might be in the process of being transitioned to redevelop. Maybe it's underutilized, it's blighted, or just has a long history. Anything that was built potentially before the mid-1980s could have hazardous building materials, and that would be eligible for brownfields assistance. Speaking of buildings, lead-based paint and asbestos are the most common contaminants that can be in older buildings. Industrial chemicals, petroleum, and controlled substances are also the types of common contaminants that we experience. We can use the Brownfields Assessment Grant to develop inventories of sites, prioritize sites, involve the community, which we try to do as much as we possibly can. And then we can use the grant to conduct phase 1 and phase 2 site assessments, environmental site assessments, develop cleanup and reuse plans. The assessment funds are not, cannot be used for cleanup though. So just some of the benefits of brownfields redevelopment. Brownfields assessments can help promote revitalization or redevelopment of underutilized properties. These grants can help return properties exhibiting signs of potential contamination back to a productive reuse. And this is an image of Marshall Mountain Park. Marshall Mountain Park is a site that received brownfields assistance, and it included a phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessment and cleanup planning. DEQ provided cleanup support, and we were able to utilize their funding for cleanup. It's mostly hazardous building materials, but there was a little bit of lead in the soil that was cleaned up around the creek. Marshall Mountain is a good example of an underutilized facility. Now it is publicly owned. It is getting a lot of use, and there is significant potential for exciting redevelopment of the site. Other benefits of brownfields redevelopment, some outcomes might include job growth, reduced development pressure on agricultural lands or urban sprawl, protection of human health and the environment, stimulating additional redevelopment activities, increasing the local tax base, and eliminating eyesores and safety hazards. So this is the former Roseburg lumber site. It received brownfields assistance in the form of a phase 1 and a phase 2 environmental site assessment. The assistance was beneficial in the acquisition of the property by the new owners. This image represents a rendering of the Story House Pictures facility. The goal is to turn this property into a campus of production studios. I think of it as the equivalent of a mini Paramount Picture Studio complex. It's very exciting. Cleanup and reuse planning services can also be covered with the brownfields assessment funding, and those services can include cleanup plans, design and permit applications, cost estimates. Cost estimates are also included in phase 2 environmental site assessments related to any cleanup. And then redevelopment planning and visioning. So this is Clinton Community Center and the park, and we were able to conduct phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessments, do some cleanup planning, and then we were able to work with some planning services to get renderings of the site. And that involved a lot of community engagement and just getting a lot of feedback from the community in terms of what they'd like to see there. So that's what that image comes from, is that visioning work that we did with planners. We've had some very great success with this program. We have done 14 phase 1 environmental site assessments since 2019, 12 phase 2 environmental site assessments. 3 sites we've been able to do analyses of brownfields cleanup alternatives, or ABCAs, and that's a public engagement process. We've had 2 sites that we have been able to do cleanup and redevelopment planning and visioning. We've assessed over 850 acres, and at least 100 acres of those are slated for residential redevelopment. And at least $75 million has been or will be invested in these sites. Participation is voluntary. Assessments are completed at no cost or low cost to the owner. The owner approves all the work. All data and reports are provided to the owner. An owner can use the funds to satisfy, or can use the program to satisfy regulatory agency, finalize property sale, or satisfy lenders. It's very common. Lenders require environmental due diligence before they will lend money. Funds can be used to address community concerns, and there's potential to access the City of Missoula's RLF cleanup funding. This image is from the inside of the John Engen Local Government Building, formerly known as the Federal Building. And the Missoula County Assessment Program, Brownfields Assessment Program, funded the Phase 1, Phase 2 environmental site assessments and cleanup planning. And the City of Missoula is covering the costs of the cleanup. There's a lot of asbestos and lead-based paint in that building, and that's getting addressed. And that's it. Are there any questions? One thing that I would ask from folks is if you're familiar with some potential brownfield sites in your community, we would love to know about that. We do name sites in the grant application, but we're not required to assess those, but it's just demonstrates that we have sites that could be assessed. Any questions?
Thanks, Cindy. Any questions or comments for Cindy? Okay, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. I live out in an area where there's a radon issue. Does that also include your FDA concerns and stuff? People that might not be able to afford a radon deterrent system, or a way of determining whether or not radon's getting in your water and you're drinking it. Because I do have a radon detector, but I always wonder, does it affect our water? Because water is right where the radon seems to be, I'm guessing. I don't know. So I was curious, can a person get a grant to try and determine whether or not you got a health concern? And that could potentially include people in the neighborhood. I don't know, but I was just curious.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just gonna cue you up to answer. I'm guessing my hunch is that brownfields are not inclusive of naturally occurring issues like radon, but go ahead, Cindy.
They're not. Radon does not fall under the brownfields program, nor does mold, unfortunately. But radon is a gas. And so one of the most common issues with radon is we breathe it, and it's probably the only, or one of the most common natural issues that we have with lung cancer. So radon causes lung cancer. And so if you're not a smoker and you get lung cancer, radon could be the culprit. There are not, I mean, the housing rehab program that we had before, we could use to help with the radon, with mitigating radon in homes. We're required to test for it before we do any kind of assistance. So the septic system, the septic program that Kayla was talking about, whenever we do any assistance to a home, we have to do an environmental review, and radon testing is part of that. And if radon's an issue, we have to abate it. So that's one way to get radon addressed, but it's not the best way, unfortunately. It's not terribly expensive to abate radon, but it is. I do recommend people get tested, get their homes tested, because it's very commonly occurring in Missoula. Sorry, not the best answer. Thanks, Bonnie.
Well, that's all right. It at least lets me know, it's not an FDA issue, I guess. So thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks, Cindy. Additional questions for Cindy? Okay. Thank you, Cindy, for that update. Next, we have an introduction. We have our new engagement coordinator for Missoula County, working out of the commissioner's office here present. Tenzin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone.
Or Allison, would you like to introduce Tenzin? However you want to do this.
Sure, I can just give a quick introduction too for the division. So I'm Allison Franz, I'm the communications manager. So I oversee the communications division, which includes our new engagement coordinator, Tenzin, who I'll let introduce herself here in a minute. She oversees Missoula County Voice, which I hope everyone is familiar with that website. Whenever there's a project that we're taking public comment on, you can go there and find it and provide comment and get questions answered. And then she is also going to be launching these community specific newsletters that we'll go over in a little bit too, that will just have monthly news and updates specific to your communities. So I just wanted to give an overview of some of her responsibilities. So Tenzin, do you want to go ahead and just give a quick intro?
Hi, my name is Tenzin. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Yeah, as Allison mentioned, and Dave, I'm the new engagement coordinator for in the communications department for Missoula County. My prior role was at the fairgrounds as the communications and graphic design specialist. I'm very excited to join this team. Yeah, I will be managing the Missoula County Voice, and starting in the beginning of October, we'll be launching a monthly community newsletter that is specific to your community. So it will be wrapping up projects that will be sort of top of mind in terms of what's going on in your community, talking about any other opportunities that would be important. And so that's going to come out once a month, and everyone from the public and everyone in this team is welcome to sign up and get those notifications. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to say, but I'm really excited to meet you all. And hopefully, if you're in town or anytime in the area, please let me know. And I'm happy to grab a cup of coffee with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tenzin, and welcome aboard. Okay,
Right. And then
this is
the
an
other-
appropriate,
Sorry, Dave.
perfect transition. So the next thing on our agenda is an overview of our new Missoula County website. If any of you used or were familiar with our old website, it was not great. It was not a great website. It served its purpose for many years, but it certainly fell into a state of needing to be completely overhauled and replaced. And we have a great web platform that Allison, I believe, is going to at least give us a teaser on and begin to walk us through.
Sure. Well, actually, it'll be Carrie Powers, who just came on camera. She's our communications coordinator, and one of her main responsibilities is content updates to the website. And she built out a lot of this new website and should be very proud to show it off. So I'll turn it over to her.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Carrie Powers. I'm the communications coordinator. I'm the third arm of the communications division. Some of you were on the meeting that we had way back in June, talking about the website as a little bit more of an abstract thing, but I'm happy to announce that it has fully launched. It's been out there in the world for almost a month now. So today I'm just going to quickly go over what's different, and then at the very end, talk about what Tenzin mentioned about the ability to sign up for a monthly newsletter about your specific communities. So I'm going to turn my camera off here for a second and then share my screen. The URL for our website hasn't changed. It's still missoulacounty.us. And there we go. I think probably one of the things you all will notice first and foremost is like just the color scheme, the use of photos, everything has totally changed. We did a complete refresh and really designed it for hopefully what you all will consider to be ease of use, especially on mobile devices. Our last last version of the website was very hard to use on a cell phone. And we know when we started this project a few years ago, at that point, 60% of the visitors to our website were visiting on their phones. So that was really first and foremost. We really wanted to streamline a lot of the department pages to get what you need quicker. As much as, you know, as proud as I am of this website, I know that many people don't just go to MissoulaCounty.us to like click around. That's awesome if you do, but we know that as your local government, we provide a lot of services, whether it's registering to vote or getting new license plates on your car or trying to find a public meeting or seeing if you can appear in court, all of these other things. So we really, again, had that top of mind of what is the answer to the questions that you're looking for. And some other tenets of kind of website redesign that we really focused on, again, was just this like big refresh of the homepage. Our last website, the homepage just kind of plopped you into one place and then took you to all these different cascading menus, and it was just too many ways to get into different corners of the website. There were hundreds and hundreds of pages, many of which had never been updated or hadn't been updated in many, many years. And so this website, we hope, and our plan is to keep it really, really fresh, really updated. So I think some of you, hopefully some of you are familiar with Missoula County Voice, which is our engagement platform. We've integrated some of the kind of top, most popular Missoula County Voice projects just right here as you scroll through. This is just, we got rid of we had a countywide events calendar, which again got pretty stagnant, got kind of confusing. So instead, we're actually just linking out to all of these incredible cultural institutions that we have, be it the fairgrounds or the Exploration Center, the Missoula Public Library, and all of its branches. And then again, to what I said a few minutes ago, just trying to get, we had data from our last version of the website, I should say, about what people were searching for. And so that's really what informed a lot of these kind of immediate buttons. We really try, again, if you're looking at this on your phone, it all reformats really nicely, and you can just click on something quickly and get where you need to go. But one thing that I am really excited because it's brand new to this version of the website is we created what are called community profile pages. So it's easy to find. Go to MissoulaCounty.us and scroll to the bottom. And then we've got these tiles for all of the rural areas. We even have, even though Reno and Potomac doesn't have a community council, we still gave them a spot on the page because they felt that, we felt that they were a large enough community and had enough going on out there that we wanted to give them a spot. And the goal with these pages, I hope, is that this will be kind of like a landing page, a place for people who live in our rural communities to land, so to speak. And so when you click into them, I just added yesterday, the health department is doing pop-up vaccine clinics countywide in the month of October. So I put the kind of basic information, where and when, and then a link out to the health department's page for more information. And then again, pulling up just kind of these common requests. If you want to attend a public meeting, if you want to contact the commissioners, if you want to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which I will put a plug-in for because I also do that. And then we will be keeping this up to date as well with manually listing out the Missoula County Voice projects that affect your neighborhood. I'm hoping to get a way to kind of automate that, but for now it's manual. So, bear with me if it's a little bit out of date. I'll try to do my best. And then just kind of basic stuff about the different boards, who your commissioner is and how to contact them. And this is completely new. We built it from scratch as kind of, what would be helpful for rural communities to know. Actually, the micro grant, those rolling grants are over here too. But then this block right here is going to be kind of a new iteration of what we had done in the past, but it was a little bit clunky. It was kind of like, we would send the the engagement coordinator would send kind of a digest, I guess you could call it, of information related to a community. And we're hoping to automate that process a bit more. So if you type in your name and your email address into here, it automatically signs you up to a specific list just for your community. And then Tenzin is going to start those up here in the fall at some point to help people. We don't want to spam you. If you want spam from us, you can sign up for the weekly. You can definitely get that every week. There's not like, you can get both. That's not a problem at all. But the West Valley or like the Sealy Lake one will have a little bit more kind of pointed information, PSAs, grant application openings, all that kind of stuff related specifically to where you live. So I'm very curious to hear, you don't have to tell me today, I'll put my email in the chat, but I would love to just get this out in the world and see how people interact with it and what could be added. I don't want it to necessarily be like a long scrolling thing forever and ever. There, I'm sure, are plenty of things that are relevant to all of the residents in our rural areas, but kind of trying to keep it as tight as we can, but also feel like rural residents have a place on the website, a place where they can go that they know they'll get reliable information, quick, easy, digestible things related to where they live. Yeah, Kelly, go ahead.
All right, thanks. Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, is your intent with like, say, the community pages specifically information released from the county, or I heard you say PSA, is there going to be a process that community members could say, oh, hey, we're having a thing at the school, or we're having a whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way for them to request to have a public service announcement posted?
We haven't talked about that. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think for right now, for these first few months or the first, season or two of having the website live, we had imagined it as county information flowing out, but if there is a way for it to be, because I know that could be useful, because we hear from a lot of people being like, oh, I don't use Facebook. I don't know when, a certain event or whatever is happening. I could see that as being useful.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that really quickly. Like Carrie said, I don't see it being out of the realm of possibility, but we do just have a general philosophy around, we like to just communicate information that has some sort of county connection, because otherwise people just sometimes then think like we are putting the event on, or like we can answer questions about something, and it can just kind of muddy those waters a little bit. So it would depend on the event, or what sort of connection there might be to Missoula County, but something we can definitely chat about.
Yeah, I think you're right in the right spot. And down the road, if you were to explore it, I think you would have to have good parameters, because it'd be like garage sale and all.
Yes, exactly. Yep, you got it. Yep.
Thanks for that. Bonnie.
Hi, excuse me. I would like to know if we can invite Carrie to one of our meetings. We've had some of our residents was confused with the last web page, and if they could be taught how to get around in this new format, which I was on there today, and I thought, wow, this is good. So thank you. We'd like to invite you. I don't know what month it would be, but sure. Would it be all right if we invite you to come and talk to our few little residents that show up, at least go into the minutes and virtual? Sure. So we'll definitely plug that. Here's an opportunity to figure out how to access and utilize this website. Yes. So we would like somebody to come out and teach our residents.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that, because that would also be beneficial for me to hear what the stumbling blocks are, what the barriers are, where people go to find stuff. That's like a very elusive thing for us in communications, is like, where do people go? Like, I know, obviously we know what the internet is, like, how are people arriving at these, at our pages or not? So, that would be useful, and I'd be happy to come. Actually, just before I forget, I will put my email address. That is the best way to get in touch with me, in the meeting chat here.
I have to tell you, at one time in my life when I was much, much younger, I made a website for a company, and boy, I tell you,
Yeah, that's hard.
trying to think out how to make this easy
Uh-huh.
for everybody else, and that it'll
Uh-huh.
fit in somebody's teeny phone, and work on a computer and work on a tablet, and there's all these formats. So it was a new endeavor for me, and I learned a lot. And I tell you what, I appreciate all these people that build websites.
Well, thank you. It's not my job by trade. But I really enjoyed it. It's a very cool puzzle to
Yep.
figure out where all the
Wasn't my
pieces
job
go.
by trade either.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. Thanks, Carrie, for that. And thanks, Bonnie, for the question. Regan.
Hi. Bonnie and Kelly kind of took my question, so I'll just make a quick comment. Great questions, by the way. So looking at the Frenchtown West Valley page, I just wanted to thank Carrie. I saw the little box for Frenchtown Community Coalition. Carrie, I don't think we've met. I'm actually the Frenchtown Community Coalition coordinator, so I was really tickled to see that. So thank you for including that. And then to go off, I guess, Kelly's question a little bit, I do work for Missoula Public Health, and my colleagues and I in substance use prevention and all throughout health promotion, we have like events throughout the county, not just in Frenchtown. So I guess I'm wondering if we could connect with you to put some of those on the calendar, or if you guys are still like in the process of figuring that out, I guess with the health department specifically.
I would welcome that. I think that that's a natural fit. And then because I know you all launched your own website, like about a year-ish before we did. And so I think that's a good idea. We happened to meet with Lily Walsh, who's the communications person at MPH, and she mentioned these vaccine clinics. It was truly yesterday, and so I put them on there. But yeah, I think that would be a good fit. And yeah, thank you for noticing that. It's a little boring. I had a photo in here and it just wasn't working, so I want to jazz this up a little bit. But yes, that's another piece. There are these kind of other county related what to call them exactly, except like, in Lolo, there's the water and sewer RSID down there. In Sealy, you've got the refuse district. In Frenchtown, you've got the community coalition. These like very unique, that was another reason why I wanted to have these community pages, is instead of having to search for, I'm looking for information about the Lolo water and sewer district, I could just go to the Lolo page because I know that it's there. And that is, that was really important. And of course, as we get to know these pages and how they're out there in the world, as I've been saying, I'm sure there'll be more stuff to add in terms of like county presence. That's what we're looking for, the county presence in these rural communities.
Thanks, Sherry. Okay, other questions regarding the website or comments? Well, thanks, Carrie. This is awesome. We look forward to diving into this and seeing it evolve over time, but great work. I would say maybe this was a labor of love, but maybe that's not quite the terminology you use for this website. Yeah, so okay. Okay. All right. Well, moving on back to you, Maddie. I think it's that time in our meeting schedule where we do our round robin, where each of the community councils, or at least any of the representatives from community councils who are joining us tonight, have a chance to tell us a little bit about what's going on in their relative geographic areas. Maddie.
Yes. Yep, my mic is on. Okay. Yeah, I see. Let's start with Bonner Milltown. I think Jane was on.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so this is Jane Kiff, and over the summer, the Bonner Milltown Community Council put on a summer community picnic at the West Riverside Lions Park. About 40 people showed up for it. They intend to do this annually for the foreseeable future and try to get more and more people to come to it. The Kettle House at the mill is now the site for the original safe for the Anaconda Lumber Company. It's a safe that apparently traveled all over Montana in the 1880s and early 1900s. And a man bought it when the mill closed. He moved it to Portland, Oregon, and spent several years refurbishing it completely. And a grant from Missoula County allowed it to go back into the mill at the Kettle House, so people can go there and see it. They're very, very proud of this safe. The other thing that has come up recently is discussions about something called Blackfoot Crossing, which is where they're trying to remediate the old log yard at the mill, which is located right outside West Riverside, and turn it into a commercial and residential hub for the area. One section of it, the northwest corner, is supposed to be light industrial. The northeast corner is supposed to be residential for low and moderate income people, 2- and 3-story houses, more than 8 per acre. So very dense housing there. The southwest corner would be a commercial residential area, not so dense. And I think from the discussions that they've had, it would look much like the Sawmill District in Missoula when it's done. And in order to run all of this, they're talking about putting 250,000 gallon, I don't know, per minute or something, wells on the property. And they haven't given us much information about this, but people are concerned that they'll literally be sucking the water out of everybody's well in the West Riverside and Milltown areas. Anybody who is downstream from where these wells go may be at risk and actually in the area. So I'd say Milltown definitely, West Riverside definitely, and then as you go downstream, possibly. So they're talking about running 2 very large wells there to supply all the water for this. We really don't have a population estimate for it, but they were even also talking about a 45,000 square foot anchor store being located in the Sawmill District type place. So I would assume that would take an awful lot of water too. So there have been several meetings about it. Every time meetings come up, the information changes slightly. We really don't have good information. It's probably going to be as controversial as the Aspire neighborhood in East Missoula has been, when they get a little more information though. So we're waiting, and that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Clinton I saw Frankie was on, or Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm the guest speaker this evening. Okay, first of all, before I let you know what's going on, is Frankie talking? Who's that?
No, I think we're okay.
Oh, okay. I don't want to talk over anybody. I wanted to ask 2 questions that Chris Hadley brought to our attention. We wanted to know if there were any plans to do a community conversations this year, like we did last year, where everybody went into the gym and shifted table to table, finding more information about Missoula County representatives. And then another question that we had was, if the council were to host or co-host a picnic or similar community event, what sort of help could the county provide, such as Bonner, Milltown had a picnic and we noticed that it stated that it was sponsored by Missoula County. So we have those two questions. And I don't know if you want to address it here or maybe address it in an email or something that you could get back to us on.
Well, let me take the second question first. As far as this is exactly what the community council's budgets are meant to help support. So if you and your community council area would like to use some of your annual funding for a picnic or other such event, that certainly there is precedent for that, and I would encourage you, I think, to a couple things. One, I would say have a conversation with any of the representatives from Bonner Milltown and just see how they orchestrated it and pulled off that event there. And I would highly encourage all of the community councils to consider such a thing. I know East Missoula had a community council sponsored ice cream social over the earlier in the summer, and great event, and community picnic in West Riverside by the Bonner Milltown Community Council was equally good. I would say if anyone has questions about resources available for anything that your community council does, please reach out to your main point of contact with Community and Planning Services, who can provide you more detailed information. And I'll punt the question about the next round of community engagement across the county to Allison.
Okay.
Thanks, Commissioner Stormare. Yes, so we've had a bit of turnover in the engagement coordinator position. Tenzin just started here about 3 weeks ago. So that's one of the reasons why we had those conversations. We were thinking we would do those probably every other year. They are a lot to ask of our various staff. So you guys see us one time, but we're actually going to like 7 or 8 different communities throughout the year. So we think every other year is probably a good cadence. And we're kind of talking through how they will look. Will it be exactly the same format as it was last year? So I guess TBD. Is that a satisfying answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, now to let you know what's been going on at our meeting. Yesterday was our meeting, and we invited Kathy Schneider, the new Clinton School Superintendent, to our meeting. And she shared her education history, her personal history, and her vision for the Clinton School District. One of our goals is to see more family involvement. She also addressed school security and the after-school program and the school lunch program. They have a new cook, from what I understand. We also invited the president of the PSTA, Chelsea Walmsley, and she shared the mission and all the things that PSTA does for the school and for the community. Currently, they're seeking anyone interested in volunteering with this program. Frankie shared information about yesterday being the voter registration day and encouraged everyone to register to vote. And she provided registration forms at the sign-in table. I shared fun things happening in Missoula County during the dates of September 18th to October 21st, since the Missoula developments, not much going on in Clinton. So I thought, let's find out what's going on in Missoula. Boy, do we have lots going on in Missoula. I filled a whole page of all the different things. Like this weekend, we have the Renaissance Fair coming up. So I was really excited to hear about that. I'm hoping to continue to share events that take place each month in the county to let people know out here in the rural area just what's going on in the county. Chris, our chairperson, he reported that the work on the new pavilion that will begin shortly, and he has a finish date of October 31st. This pavilion is going into our Clinton Park. This project is being done by CSS and Bad Goat Forestry Products. I think that's it. We did have one of our residents that came to the meeting was sharing information, which I had no idea about, how electricity works during, they said that they raised the price of kilowatt during the hours of 7 to 10 in the morning and from 6 to 9. It literally goes up $2 more a kilowatt. So don't use your electricity during those hours, I guess, or not much, because that's when you start seeing higher price of your bills. So I guess that's about it. Any questions?
This is Jay Kipp from Bonner Milltown about the community picnic. A lot of hours was paid for by the Friends of Two Rivers.
Oh,
So it's just a local group gave us money.
So how did you just approach them and ask them, or did they volunteer to help out?
I think there was some arm twisting. It's those people are local and they are always trying to do community activities. And so they suggested, hey, how about a community picnic? And those people always seem to have a little bit of money. So they gave it to them.
Okay, so we need to look into who's around the neighborhood that would be interested in assisting us. We just started doing bringing refreshments because I was thinking, boy, if we feed them, maybe they'll come, because we have such a hard time getting people to show up. We had one time where the only one that showed up was the speaker. That was kind of embarrassing, so she came all the way out there and she was the only one. She kind of just talked to us. So
you have what, $500 in the community council funds? And
yeah,
if you're not using it for anything else, you can use it for a picnic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I just wanted to find out exactly, how we go about doing that. So.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Bonnie. We just did East Missoula. I think I saw Stephanie on.
I am on.
Okay.
So a little distracted. I'm actually at work still. But so the rest of our community council people are at Mount Jumbo tonight. It's kind of it's an open house for, looking for it again. Mount Jumbo School open house from 6 to 8 p.m. And supposedly they were going to talk about what people want to do with the school. So I'm a little curious as to what's going to be the outcome of that. And so hopefully next community council meeting we'll be able to update you on that. Other than that, East Missoula has been kind of quiet. We haven't had our first meeting of the new year yet, but that's coming. And I do like, one thing I did want to say, I do like your new website. I did go on it. My sister is working on a project about community planning. And so I was sending her links to some of the council meetings that we've been to, or the commissioners meetings. And so I got to use your new website. It worked very well. And I do also appreciate the little tabs for the neighborhoods. I thought that was that's something that people in our community have been asking for. So it's very appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. I didn't see anyone on from Lolo or Sealy, so we will jump to Swan. Kirsten or are you still on? Does not look like they're on either anymore. That's okay. So West Valley.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. I'll be really quick. We've had 2 meetings since we last met in June. So we had a special meeting in July to learn about the proposed town pump development on the north side of the Frenchtown overpass. Once people caught wind of that, people are pro, people are very con. So we decided just to have a meeting to discuss that, learn more about it. We had nearly, if not more, it was hard to count, 100 people there, which was probably a record for at least since I've been there. Um, and it was also my first official meeting as chair, which was totally terrifying, but it worked out. It was okay. Karen Hughes, Tim Worley from the county, and Dan Sampson from Town Pump came and provided information about land use and zoning, and of course the Town Pump development. We had like a Q&A session with 3 specific speakers, and then with some community members if their questions hadn't already been asked. And I'll just say that our speakers there, Karen, Tim, and Dan, were phenomenal. They kept their composure when we had some very rowdy citizens. They were very professional, very kind and calm. So I just want to acknowledge that. They were amazing. And thank you. I saw Karen was on here. So I just want to make sure to give props to you and Tim, because I don't know if I could have been that nice after some of the jabs that people made. So just wanted to thank you all there. And then we had a meeting last Thursday, and it was pretty quick and simple. We had updates on the town pump development and the Frenchtown storage unit development that's going on by Roman Creek. Then we discussed starting a community recognition program. And so hopefully we'll finalize everything during the next meeting in October. And hopefully in November, we can vote for the first recipient, which will be based on council recommendations and or nominations from community members through like a survey form like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey. But we thought since we had some of this, this $1,000 stipend, that we would use it to recognize the amazing people in our community. So we'll see how that goes. But we're pretty excited for that. So if I missed anything, I saw a bunch of our crew was on here, so feel free to add anything. Oh, I'll also say this is the first time since at least 2019 that we have like 5 people filling seats on West Valley Community Council. So thank you, thank you, thank you. They're all amazing.
Yes, congratulations on that.
Stephanie, did you have a question?
I do. I was reminiscing what you guys are going through in Frenchtown to what we went through in East Missoula, and I was wondering, Dave, can councils get together and like cry on each other's shoulders or something? I mean, is that acceptable?
You can always, you can resort to the old-timey technology of telephones and however you want to circle up. But yeah, I would highly encourage folks outside of this all community council venue to pick each other's brains. And if you know that another community council has struggled with or is thinking about something, by all means, reach out and no need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, we would love that, by the way.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
Okay, I think that wraps up round robin.
Thank you, Maddie. Any other closing comments from anyone or anything that we forgot to mention or bring up? Well, Maddie, when's the next one of these things scheduled?
Yes, the next meeting is October 22nd. So mark your calendars.
Okay, right before the big game season opener. So,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, last call for any final comments or thoughts.
I just had a question. Is there any way that we could get like a list of emails for community councils around the county, just so we can reach out to each other and ask questions and pick each other's brains?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. If you reach out, I can send at least the chair if everyone feels comfortable with the chair. That way they can reach out to them.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for that. Anything else? Okay, folks, have a great evening, and we will catch you next month on October 22nd.
Thank you.